Hey Archery Talk, this is Lucas, and today I've got a bit of a special video for you. As you might be able to tell by the headline of this video, I have tested the Bowtech SR350 at every available draw length, right from 25 to 30 inches. That's what's available on the cam. In measured draw lengths, those are usually about 3/8 of an inch longer for each of those intervals. I'll give you full details in a moment. And the idea really behind this is a lot of folks kind of ask me, oh, could you test out a bow at a 27-inch draw length for me? And like, I can't see what a bow feels like that because it doesn't feel right to me because I have a 30-inch draw length. But I can test out the speed. Now, this is, I don't know if this is something I'm going to do again because it is a lot of effort. This took hours to kind of come back here and change the draw length, move the string stops, and measure the draw length at every one of these intervals. So that's, from 30 to 25 inches every half inch. That's a lot of work. It took a long time. So if enough people like this, I'll do it again every year. I'll pick a bow to do this with. If not, this will probably be a one-off experiment, but hopefully it'll help you guys, give you some good information so you know what kind of speeds to expect for every draw length, all using a 350 grain Gold Tip Platinum Pierce arrow. Now let's get to the numbers. So bear with me as I'm going to read through my notebook on this because there's just too many numbers to think of out loud. I'm going to hopefully share like an actual chart with you guys so you can kind of follow along what I'm seeing. But the general gist of things is I started out with the 30-inch module, the 30th position on the cam, which is actually 30 and 3/8. And again, as I mentioned, all of the draw lengths are about 3/8 of an inch long at each of those intervals. So at that draw length, with a 350 grain Gold Tip Platinum Pierce arrow, I saw a speed of 340 feet per second. That's 10 feet a second faster than any other bow I tested this year. However, considering that it's 3/8 of an inch longer than 30, you're probably looking more at 336, 337 would be the actual number. But that still beats anything I shot this year. Previous winner was the Matthews V3X 29 at 330 feet a second. That was right at 30 inches. Going on down the line, things kind of were much more linear than I was expecting them to be. So I went down to the 29.5-inch spot. It was at 335 feet per second. The 29-inch spot, 329 feet per second. The 28.5 down to 324, 28 down to 319, 27.5 down to 314, 27 down to 308, 26.5 down to 304, 26 turned into 298 feet a second, first time under 300. 25.5 was 291, and the bottom of that cam was 25 inches of available draw length, and that was 284 feet per second. So that is it. That's every single available draw length I could shoot. I shot all those in performance mode. I couldn't bear to go and do it all again in comfort mode. It was just too much work. I also threw a heavier arrow in there just for fun on the longest and the smallest draw length. So at the longest draw length, my 477 grain Gold Tip AirStrike shot 295 feet a second. That's really fast for an arrow that's heavy. That is that heavy to me, at least. So then that ended up being 45 feet per second slower than the lighter arrow. And as a point of reference, at the 25 inches, I shot that same arrow and it went 246 feet per second. And that was only actually 38 feet a second slower than the light arrow. So as the speeds go down, as the draw length goes down, the gap between the heavier and the light arrow shrinks a little bit, just because there's less available speed, and I'm sure some sciencey person will let you know exactly why that is. But yeah, so it was a 45 feet a second difference at the 30 inches and a 38 feet a second difference at the 25-inch mark. And all told, I guess when you look at the numbers, at 30 inches, you're looking at 340 feet per second, and at 25, you're looking at 284. So that's a difference, if my math is right, of about 56 feet a second, all told, from the top to the bottom. And that almost held true. It was pretty much about every five feet a second for every half inch of what you were expecting until you got down to the really low ones, and then the gap started widening just a little bit. One other thing I did just for fun, because I like shooting this bow on the comfort setting much more than I like shooting it on performance. It's just, it's much more valley. The draw cycle feels very similar. It's again, it's fairly easy at the start, then a pretty noticeable hump over into the valley, but you have a lot more valley, a lot more like comfort in just holding it draw for an extended period of time in the comfort setting. And so the difference in speed there with the fast arrow at 30 inches was 330 feet per second, and with the heavier arrow was 285. So that was each of those was 10 feet a second slower than the performance mode. So I hope that helps you archery talk. That is, again, I tried to give you all the numbers I could for all these draw lengths. I hope it's useful for you guys who are out there shopping for bows. And if this is something that you like, let me know. I'll try to do it again next year. Maybe we'll pick a different bow brand. Somebody else, hopefully a bow that just has like a rotating module that I can use the whole length of the cam. I can't go chasing modules from the manufacturers. They're not going to send me every single module for every draw length. They can't do that. But we'll try to pick our bows carefully going forward. Again, thanks again for watching. And please do like, share, and subscribe. It helps the channel an awful lot. And we'll see you again soon.